Hello and welcome to another game of AAA Wargaming. This is the next game I've asked for. So, this is battle report number 48, so we nearly hit that magic 50. And it's not game 6, it's game 4. Sorry. So, deployment was counter thrust. I'll talk about the objective shortly, but it's against Highborn Elves. So, this is my third or fourth Highborn Elf opponent. It's also on the morning of Sunday morning. So obviously I was on 7 points at the moment. I think I was second from bottom. Yeah, we were on bottom table, so if there was fights with the wooden spoon starting to happen, I'd made a promise to myself I was going to be more aggressive this game no matter what, whilst also trying to play for the objective. Where previously I'd actually thought about it, and I was like, how? So the objective itself. So counter thrust deployment, which I was pretty happy with, but then um, after determining deployment zones, both players place 2 markers on the battlefield, starting with the player that chose their deployment zone. So each marker has to be 6 inches in from the edge and 6 inches from the center. So, and you've got 4, but they've got to be at least 11 inches away. So the person whoever places, they're starting with the player that chose their deployment zone first. So he chose his deployment zone, therefore he placed the first marker and so on. So we had 4 down. It's a bit like secure target, but we both keep it secret. We have to number them 1 to 4, so we could choose theirs and they could choose ours. So it really was, you had 4 markers and you had to to pick one, and then at the end of team turn 5 they were going to be revealed. It's going to be really quite interesting. So, and the player controlling the most markers wins. So it's secure target with a bit of a flip, and that was quite good. So it gave me some options, and the one thing I was thinking about is, do I go for first or not? And I think it came down to, because I knew I could start dropping first. And I think it was where I thought he was going to be. He had quite a lot of drops with the height of Silver Helms, with the Eagle, and uh, with the scouting archers, or the skirmishing archers. What are they called? Oh, what are they called? I will get it. Shadow Hunters, Grey Hunters, one of those two. That I just can't get out, and I won't be able to find out his main force or where the sword masters are, as we'll go on to. So that's my list, and this is his list. So no ancient dragon, no flying characters, brilliant. No Nishi the Fiery Heart, no phoenixes, brilliant. Okay, so that's one side. There are 78 sword masters, which wasn't really sure apart from shooting them how I was going to deal with them. You then got a Adept Pyro, a Master Cosmo, and a Commander with a Master Camera Tower. So, yeah. So it's still quite a very punchy magic phase and good shooting because you've got 2 units and 9 Watchers and then Citizen Archers. Grey Watchers, that's what they're called. And actually, Grey Watchers are quite tough because they've got a 5+ save with the shield. It's really quite annoying, as it turns out. Other than that, he's got 15 Sea Guard with full quad, 17 archers, 5 highborn lancers with musician and champion, 2 units of 5 Illium reavers, 3 units of swordmaster spoken down, an eagle as chaff, and 2 units of 9 grey watchers. So I guess his wizards would be going into the grey watchers. I didn't know where his commander was going to be at this time. Probably the same. Otherwise, it's a good fighty list, but I definitely outmaneuver it, especially if I can kill off the reavers and the highborns. I can pick where I want to go. The other thing was I was going to have to get in and get rid of his magic. Get rid of his Grey Watchers. They're quite an annoying unit because of that -1 to hit and phase miasma and stuff. So yeah, that was my thought. And then just shoot at the Swordbusters. If they really come at me in one big bow and I haven't got the archers to kill them off, I'm really going to have problems with them. I can't because they're agility 6. I haven't got anything quicker than them apart from my lord. So magic, I didn't change what I was taking. And then on the Highborn Elves, he's gone for pretty common, apart from he didn't take Touch the Heart, it's Flavor of Maladus. He's got Flaming Swords to improve his shooting and combat, and he's got Pyroclastic Flay. I think probably actually in hindsight his Adept should have taken another Combat. Well, no, flaming swords is quite good. Does all the shooting, or maybe a combaty one. And then Master of Cameron Fountain of Youth, and Awaken the Beast. So this is the terrain. So to start off, we've got a forest here, got a wall, impassable, a hill, and another wall, and that was it. So again, another terrain piece with only 5. He chose this side, which I was really happy with, and so with counter thrust, you got to drop first. So what I did is my very first one is I dropped the eagles here, and the reason, sorry, I should go in markers. So he placed that one, I placed that one, then he placed that one, and then I placed that one over there. Or did I place that one? Yeah, did I place that one first? Yeah. So I placed that one first, and what I did was I placed the eagles here. I wanted to force him back around this wood, because actually, if he comes down there, it's a bit of a shooting gallery, and I can take them off, and the same with this, so I can pick and choose. He then placed these Illyrian Reavers here, which I didn't pick up on actually. I was like, okay, why has he put them there? He just wants to dominate the center. I didn't actually consider where he had. I then placed my Kestrels over this side. Sorry, no, I placed my Brahmanes here. I couldn't be bothered to think he's quite happy, so they're all lined up along there. So force him back. He then placed his other Illyrian Reavers here. I then placed my Kestrels on this side. Sort of trying to make it look like I was going to go for this. He placed his Great Eagle here, and it was at this point I decided to drop. I just thought, okay, I've got to go for it. So I thought he was going to be more. I thought he was centre. So in my head, actually, what he was going to go for was probably this one because it's got the house all there, and he's going to be somewhere here. So what I did was I've got my other Kestrels over this side. The idea that they can, if they have anything coming down here, they can go after it, or if he gives me a gap, I can fly to here and get behind his lines. I've got the eagles that I placed there, and I had a small scoring unit there that was going to go run forward and make sure there. I then have another scoring unit here, the big one that can, if necessary, march or reform march there, with 2 smaller ones here, just in case I've got to deal with stuff here and just to spread out my lines. I've then got my BSB here, so he can maneuver across, but just mainly so I can start shooting. What I should have done is probably had him over to this side anyway, and then I've got my 2 characters. What he does, so he's gone very centrally. He's got his Silver Elms here to threaten this side with the Loth and Sea Guard. So I was quite glad I had the Kestrels over here because I'm going to need to deal with them. He's then got a unit of Grey Watchers with the Pyro Adept. He's then got one of the Swordmasters. He's then got the Archers, which I think had the Master of Camry Tower in there. He's then got he's got the other 2 Swordmasters, and then he's got another, 9 Grey Watchers with the Cosmo Master in. So, how did I feel about this? I'll be honest, actually, I was pretty happy. He's quite central, so my Kestrels were going to be going up the line. I kind of wish I had my I was glad where my Kestrels were, because actually, if his Silver Helms start coming around, my Kestrel's going to beat the living crap out of them. So I had options to go into there, and I could still use the house to protect myself from the Swordmasters and then jump over. I had a lot of space on the right hand side, which I was pretty happy to meet the Brahmins and the Kestrels there. Where was my lord? Oh, my lord, I put him here. The idea was he was going to march forward, and then the Brahmins were going to join him around here and just start threatening this right hand side and see if I could get round and get after his Grey Watchers and Master of Camry Tower. Whilst my archers were going to first shoot the Illyrian Reavers in front, and then I was going to start shooting at the Swordmasters. At this time, after looking at this, I thought that was his objective. And if I was honest, I was looking at this, unless my shooting game's really good, I'm not going to be able to stop that. So my key was to make sure that I got my objective, which I'd chosen over here, and make sure that he couldn't score it. And that's why I was very happy. I had the Eagles and the Kestrels, and I was going to look like I was aggressive, but I was going to be very mindful of making sure that I wasn't going to lose the objective to those scoring units there. Now, my turn. So what I've done is I've launched the Kestrels up because they've got a smaller footprint than the Eagles and they can hide from both angles. So they're sitting here quite nicely. And what I'm doing is basically saying, you can come around here, but I will kill you, either unit. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. I then moved my Eagles around as a counter throwing and kept the archers in here. I don't need to go for that objective yet. And actually what I want to do is shoot off some of his stuff here. While I've lined all the rest of them up for the Illyrian Reavers. As you can see on the right, I've moved my Briar Maidens around. They haven't gone as far, but I'm pretty happy with that. What I probably should have done is had these differently, so the Briar Maidens were that side of the Lord rather than this side, but I think that was because that's where the gap was on the base and I didn't want to move it. And you can see how my Kestrel Knights are all the way up here. They've got soft cover from the woods there, and they're already threatening Grey Watchers here, so they're going to have to start moving back. The reason the Illyrian Reavers have moved to the side there is that it's from Vanguard. Right, my turn. I kill the Illyrian Reavers. I think it took about 3 archer units. And you can see in Magic Phase, uh, I've brought a Totemic Summon on the back there. So that's a good start for me there. So I'm starting to threaten his all his stuff. So I'm really putting pressure on the right hand side, which is what I wanted to do. And I've managed to take a few Swordmasters off. So just 2 of them. Right, sorry, I've put Dread Elves there the entire way through. Have I done that? Yes, I have. I'm really sorry, Owen. I know you're Highborns, but yeah, okay, that's my bad. I've put Dread Elves up there the entire time. They're actually Highborns. So Highborn Elf turn 1. Ooh, give away me. As you can see, what he's done is he's moved the Swordmasters forward here, and they're covering both objectives at the moment and just coming towards my archers. On the other hand, one of my Kestrels doing that, he's forced his Swordmasters, one of his units, to look towards my Kestrels, while the Illyrian Reavers have moved to flank them, which I'm not too bothered about because my Brahmins could go after them. This is quite effective, so already one of his Swordmaster units has been fixed on the right hand side, which means that instead of all 3 of them coming at me, which I can't shoot off, I've got 2 of them. His Lothan Seaguard, you can see, have turned around in the top corner, so that's over here, and you've got 3 archer units there. I mean, I've got the archers there, but all the other 3 units are focused on this bad boy here right now, which is pretty good. And the Silver Helms have moved back, so the turn is working. He does a load of magic. He gets a registry off. I let him have it. He does the magic, gets it down to 1 wound, which I think was Ice and Fire or Pyro Effect, one of the 2. In shooting, his archers go to absolute town on mine and kill a buttload. It's like 6. I was like, oh crap. So I'm going to have to run away with them. So I forgot how good archers are for Highborn Elves. And then in shooting, he finished off the. He got all the way through it. Actually, it was Lothan Sea. It was his Seaguard that took the final wound off that. Otherwise, it survived all the shooting as well. It was incredible, like how lucky this totem had been until that point. But he's done well. We've fixed them. So as you can see here, so I've brought my Lord out. On the right hand side, I've brought my Lord out, so he's now running solo. They're all out of arc, and I've covered him with the Kestrel Knights here to make sure the archers just kind of a pot shot and everyone go for him. The Kestrels I've moved in, and what I've really done here is I'm threatening as much. So I've got the archers, I've got the Grey Watchers as well. While Briar Maidens hopefully can deal with these Illyrian Reavers, and because they're maneuver enough, they can move back in. I moved my archers forward to short range so I can start taking off these ones while these have all moved back, but they can still see over. So I'm staying out of range of the archers whilst staying in range of pretty much this block, and that's who I'm going to start going for. My Kestrel Knights have moved back. They're actually out of arc now. So although I'm not covering that area, I've still got the Great Eagles. That I think if Great Eagles go into 5 Silver Helms on the charge, I think I win overall with the grind long term, especially as I can support it, and I brought my BSB over as well. So I'm pretty happy. This aggressive look on the right and pushing him back on the left means that I'm in a good spot, I think. In magic and shooting, I start picking off more of the Swordmasters. It's incredible how many I've got an AP1. He was rolling 6s like they're going out of fashion. I still only killed 4 out of the entire archers, I must have put about 40 shots into him, and it was still only killing 4. It was incredible. Like even 40 shots on average should be 20 hits, of which 10 hit. Now, did he have Maladis up? Yeah, he did. So that's 2 or 4. Okay, maybe that is accurate. No, he rolled about 4, he rolled a lot of saves. It was a lot of saves over the whole game. It was quite funny actually. By the end, it was just like, please just die. um, right, Highborn Elves turn 2. So one thing I didn't manage to do, well, I brought on a Totemic Summon, which is really, really good up here, but no. But one thing I didn't. One thing I sorry, messing around. One thing I didn't manage to do, as you can see here, is I didn't actually kill the Illyrian Reavers. I only got 1 of them off, so there's still about 4 of them now that are going to come and shoot at the Kestrel Lights. The Grey Watchers have moved over to there. Now, he did this. I think he thought I was fine, but he's left me a flank charge here. Or no, sorry, it was in the front. So he's left me a front charge, but I don't care. Like, if I can sneak in and clip there, I'm still going to win that combat. So I'm pretty happy with that. And he's left me the archers there. It was a very long charge to there, which would have been very tempting because then that would have just messed all that up. But no, I had these 3 real options here, and I could charge there. He's also turned his Swordmasters around now as well, which made me really think that this is the one he wanted to go for. So again, I'm pretty happy. I was like, I've got 2 Swordmasters watching a very, very mobile unit that can, if necessary, because it's not frenzy, I can just move back here. So I was pretty happy that all my shooting, I was happy on the left sticking, and I was going to pump a load of shots into that Swordmaster unit again next turn. He kills my Totemic Summon again, but pretty happy still because it's sucking up a load of shooting and stuff. And then my turn. So what happens here? I charge that unit, and he realizes that's going to be a mistake, so he runs. I've still got a charge, so I, instead of redirecting Swordmasters, I'll go for some really long one here. I redirect into the archers, take a couple of wounds I took 3 wounds on the way in. In fact, no, I got some last turn and I took a wound on the way in, a couple of wounds on the way in. I lost the model. Either way, I get in there, and I think that's something I'm going to kill them off. I've decided that instead of focus firing on here, I've got to move one of the archers here, and between them and the Briar Moons, hopefully I can kill that unit off. I brought the Lord round to here, and that's out of arc just so I can threaten along here. The idea was that I can bounce through and get into his backline here. What I really wanted to do was go through here and start attacking this so I could do that. I've moved the Great Eagles into a spot. If he moves them forward, I can charge him, and I think if Great Eagles in the flank are still okay, well, the Kestrel Knights are just in there protecting here. I can spend a turn dealing with this threat here and now while my BSB has moved round to there to start plinking off these Silver Helms and making it weaker. And I've still got time to quickly move the archers on the left over to the objective. So I'm pretty happy. So in this turn, I killed a lot more. I think it was 4 plus 4. So I killed 8 this turn, which I was really happy at. I then also killed the Illyrian Reavers, and I massacred the archer unit, and I stuck. I'd had Awaken the Beast off, but I killed the entire unit. And I was hoping that he was going to charge me forward, and I would go away, but actually, yeah, as we'll see. Sorry, this is the only picture of the high ones. He charges me with this unit here, and it goes to there. I took so many DTs. I mean, this was my DT roll, so I got. We worked it out. It was 3 of them were going to get hit by them, and I rolled 5, 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, it wasn't great. Yeah, so there's only 2 of them left now, which is a bit concerning. But it does mean when he tries and makes them run away a bit further, he would have had to like push them further away, and he didn't want to do that because he wanted to shoot as much as possible. So they are res 5 though, which is something. He Other than that, he's starting to move them round, and I did wonder. I was like, has he tricked me? Are these swordmasters going for this objective? And actually, that's it. I was like, okay, that could be interesting. Um, Otherwise, the rest of his army stays as per, so that he can kill off them. That was some magic, which I thought, yep, great, cool, we're all good. And as you can see, they're gone. So in his shooting, he managed to pick them off. Last 3 wounds. That's my one of my Kestrel Knights gone. So I was a bit concerned about that. In my turn, I couldn't get the Lord to charge through on there. I couldn't quite clip. I could only do that. So what I did was I charged into the Swordmasters. I thought he's only got 8, 12. Well, in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have, because he had 12 and he's got a champion and he can turn around. So he chose not to do the challenge because he wanted to save that. And those great eagles are not in there. The owls are not in combat. They're still out of combat because what I wanted to do was see if I could beat this combat and go in. As you can see, my archer unit are starting to move on the left towards the objective, and that's just make sure we're running out of time now. So I just wanted to make sure that there was no chance that if we only got to a turn 5 that I hadn't at least drawn the objective. I've still got my BSB over here. He missed or failed to wound on the Silverhounds, which is great. Um, and then my archers have come up. They've all come up here, and I'm gonna shoot into. I think it's one of this block here or that block there. Just get them right. And my Briar Maidens are moving around here to cause a bit of distraction, and if necessary, just start blinking away and keep out of trouble. What happens is I only managed to kill a single Grey Watch with all my shooting, and in combat I kill. I think, oh, I know, maybe I did kill the champion. Maybe that was it. And then he's all turned to fade to me. And at this point, I realised that even with Res 6, that maybe, just maybe, I'd screwed up. That was a lot of, that was a lot of troops. I've only got this for the hyper 10-4. Yeah, you can see it's my general dead. I didn't even roll that well. I don't think I killed that many. It was quite funny. He had one of the strength buff one off. So yeah, they absolutely died. So I really need to learn that swordmasters are not good, or my lord is not great going on his own. It's something I need to have a look at. I love the model. I really do. I'm not going to change it. Whether I change it to a chieftain, I know lots of people gave me some ideas on this before, like cleansing light and silver lands, which I might try actually. But I just wonder if I'd fit in some Heath Riders and just use the unit to bulk up. But yeah, I know the optimum choice is Eagle King, but he has started to move his unit around as well. So cool. In my turn, I've got the Master of the Cameron Tower and the Cosmo, and the Pyro Adept because the Cosmo's dead in here. And I'm just thinking, cool, that means he's only got flaming swords, but he's got Awakening Beast and other stuff. And I just thought, with stomps and everything else and hitting them, I've got the chance of killing that unit, and that's a good idea. Other than that, I moved my Kestrels back because I didn't want to get charged by the Swordmasters. Whilst I still wanted to threaten this if his Silverhelms came round, I'm still going to try and shoot one off. Otherwise, my archers they're not as afraid anymore, so I've come in close and I want to take as many of these guys out as possible. And I've got my Briar Maidens there so I can bring in Master of Earth range spell as well as the rest of it. So I've got a reasonable punchy. Just going to throw everything at this unit. And I did. Killed it. Killed it off. Finally. Took Master of Earth to kill 4 of them, and then the archers took the rest of them. I was like, ah, yes, at last. Cool. So 1 unit dead, which I kind of felt that I needed those points. Yeah, even the BSB kills the Silverhelm. So I was like, oh, brilliant. What's happening? In this combat here, I think I kill a few. Yeah, I killed quite a few. So because Master of Earth was so successful in that, I managed to get the archers there and these into this. So I started whittling them down quite a bit. That was after combat. So he killed an eagle and won, and I killed fairly little. I think I killed 2 or something. Luckily, I stuck. But now I've got Seaguard in the flank on his turn. I'm also going to have to start moving quite significantly because both these units have turned to face me. So now I'm pretty certain it's the center one he's trying to protect. So I'm wondering what to do with this one now. I'm probably going to have to back up with everything and just run away with these archers whilst, yeah, whilst hoping that I can kill as many as possible. I think he charged and I stood. He must have charged and I stood because oh no, he brought four of these back with. I let him have Fountain of Youth off because I was just trying to stop as many combat buffs off as possible. Um, he obviously had no shooting because that was all in combat, and he killed everything down to this final eagle and shoved it in front of that unit there. So on the plus side, if they rally, I've got a chaffing unit right in front of there. I did manage to kill a few more of the Grey Watchers now, so he's only got the massive. He's only got the front rank now, as you can see there. So what I've done here is I've moved the Briar Minions around to there so I can plink off at this unit here. So my target for this is I just want to get rid of this and see if I can start picking out his characters. My archers have moved back 5 inches there, so they're going to charge there, and then I'm going to try and keep them alive. I've moved my wizards and stuff out into here so they could get in swarm of insects and stuff, and I've kept my archers in range but out of arc. I have moved the kestrels up to this so I can threaten inwards if necessary. And what I've done is the archers are there, and I couldn't really block with this. So what I did was I had my BSB that way, so he's got to charge in the BSB, and I'm risking the BSB to protect them. Shooting works. Now, it looks like I've killed everything. He then realizes something. I cannot remember what it was. It was some sort of save. Oh, I can't remember for the life of me. Either way, or was it Flavor of Maladis that he had up or something? Either way, his BSB is actually on 2 wounds. Okay. So I've killed his general, but now I've killed the Pyro Adept in the unit, so I've killed the second unit Grey Watcher. So actually, in points wise, I've done quite well. In his turn, he charges and kills the eagle. He does charge into there, but my BSB survives, and all gravy. Now, here's the trick. I've chosen this one as my objective, so I'm like, okay, cool. So I've at least drawn it. He's chosen that one as oh, so I found out turn 6. He's chosen that one as objective. Sorry, that's why. So sorry, when it came to here, 5, I knew where the objectives were. Sorry, so he had to say it as well. So that's why I moved the thing. So I realised that if I stop this unit getting anywhere near him, I win the objective, which is great. And I was like, okay, because I thought we were quite close in points at this. Because I'd lost my eagle and my general and stuff. I was like, I wasn't tracking, or I'd lost track, and I went, okay, cool. I've done the sums with the BSB, and I was like, well, it's still this. So right, I'm going to block your silver helms. I'm going to make sure they have to charge, and even if they kill my BSB, they go off that way. My BSB survived. That's great. That's the point difference. So I've nearly doubled the amount of points he's got actually, because I've killed his general, which is wizard, both wizards, and got 200 points for a general. So that's nearly 900 alone. I've got his archers. I've got both reavers. I've got one of the unit swordmasters. I've got both Grey Watchers. So it adds up. He's killed the Kestrel Knight, 1 unit Kestrels, unit Forest Eagles, Big Whoop is 211 points, and a Prince. I've got the objective, and I've won 16-4. Woo! I managed to win a game this this tournament. It's a miracle it's taken till game 4, but yeah, which also destroys my chance of winning the wooden spoon, which Owen still retained at this point. It was a good game. This I think the Prince is still weak, and yeah, that's on me. He's designed for combat with dueling and against sword masters. I think it's unfair to judge how bad he is when playing sword masters, because sword masters are just epically good and they're just good at killing res 5 stuff. I mean, agility 6 and all the rest of it, loss of attacks. Yeah, it's not going but my plan worked, I think, in terms of making sure I went for the ejector, or at least competed for it, and it paid off because he'd chosen the same one. I would have thought I did ask him why he didn't put more on that side, but actually he said, look, you just shot me as I come through, and I was like, maybe that could have worked, yeah. Though it did tell me 4 turns to kill a unit of sword masters, so maybe not. Um, and it would have given me the rest of the board, so maybe I could have just taken him out in other ways and just completely and just to be aggressive on one side. And the Brahmins really came to their own in this one. I saw how maneuverable and they can just plink away there. With Master of Earth, they did quite a lot of damage actually when you think to the Swordmaster and some other units. So yeah, actually really happy unit. I might have to expand that unit and go for a. I have played a game against John where I had the BSB with the poison bow with 4 shots in a big unit of 9 Briar Maidens running around like that, and actually it worked quite well. With the BSB's got 2 Aether icons and the standard bearer of the Briar Maiden's got an Aether icon, so suddenly an MR3 unit, Ice and Fire needed a 10, will need a 10 or an 11 depending on what spells they've got off, or maybe a 9 if a master, but it's an extra dice or 2 dice that's being brought out for this. So actually, I'm pretty happy with that. As a concept, I quite like the unit, and it means it's a reliable BSB. It saves a lot of points. It's worth about 400 plus 600 when you add the 200 for the BSB. It's about 800 points saved overall. So pretty happy with that. But yeah, onwards and upwards. So a good game. Thank you, Owen. Apologies about saying you were Dread Elves thing. I was looking at the pictures and that's bad on me. Otherwise, I hope you all have a good week.